And with that sound, we are back for another edition of American Football Newz. In Week 7 of the NCAA, this is how we will kick off the show. We will go through our top 25, which was released Monday, and some of the results are surprising, some of them are not, and a lot of them are still the same. Of course, number one is still the same team that has been number one all year long. That is the Alabama Crimson Tide, followed by the University of Georgia, Ohio State University, Clemson, Notre Dame breaks into the top 5, West Virginia, Washington, Penn State, and the University of Texas, which is up 10 spots following their win this past weekend. Coming in after Texas at number 10 is UCF. Oklahoma comes in at number 11. 12, the University of Michigan. 13, LSU. 14, Florida. 15, Wisconsin. 16, Miami of Florida. 17, Oregon. 18, Kentucky University. 19, Colorado. 20, NC State. 21, Auburn. 22, Texas A&M climbs back into the top 25. Number 23, South Florida. 24, Mississippi State, and number 25, the University of Cincinnati. That's right, the Bearcats getting in. For those of you playing the home game, you'll notice that 4 teams have fallen out of the top 25, and they are as follows: Oklahoma State, Michigan State University, Virginia Tech, and Stanford out of the top 25. Replacing them this particular week is Texas A&M, Mississippi State, South Florida, and Cincinnati. For our upsets of the week portion of the show, again, we have no true upsets this week, but a few games that made you think for sure definitely happened. Again, these rankings are from the week last, not this particular week. Or I'm sorry, the rankings are from this week, not last week. Number 24, Mississippi State humbled number 21 Auburn Saturday night with a 23-9 victory. This was a complete game won in the air that Auburn had no answer for. Between the two quarterbacks, the Auburn Tigers couldn't seem to get anything going in the air. Bulldogs back in the top 25 for the second time this year. Our game of the week last week was the Red River Shootout, which is a game that features the University of Oklahoma taking on the University of Texas. This was an instant classic, adding another chapter to an already historic rivalry. Number 9 Texas came into the Cotton Bowl heavy underdogs against a very good number 11 Oklahoma, who had dreams of another Big 12 title on the line, as well as a possible playoff berth later on this year. However, the Longhorns were determined to put that party to rest and assert their dominance over the Sooners. Heisman hopeful Kyler Murray put on a show in Texas, throwing for 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception, plus another 92 yards on the ground with a touchdown. This would not be enough as Texas had a complete package as well. 314 passing yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, and 158 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns. Texas wins in a close game no matter how you called it, 48-45. The Florida-Louisiana State game was an opposite to the Red River Shootout. If offense ruled at the Cotton Bowl, defense was king at the Swamp. In a clash of SEC division rivals, trickery, timing, and defense helped push the Gators to victory, 27-19. Our third game of the week was a good one. Notre Dame traveling to Lane Stadium to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies in a Saturday night matchup. Notre Dame quarterback Ian Book playing his first game as a starter away from South Bend, and he did not disappoint. 271 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception complemented a great running attack by Dexter Williams, who had 178 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. This offense, paired with a tough Irish defense, put the brakes on a good Virginia Tech passing game and secured the win for the Irish 45-23. It is this segment of our NCAA show that we take a look at the Heisman hopefuls. This is our second week of Heisman hopefuls, and the results are being aided by stats and info from ESPN. So these are all from ESPN. Our number one Heisman is the quarterback from the University of Alabama, whose team struggled a bit this weekend against a very underrated Arkansas team. He's still the favorite, though, after 6 weeks of football, and this week he put in 334 yards and 4 touchdowns, bringing his total of the 2018 season to 1,495 yards passing and 18 touchdowns. Alabama remains undefeated. Our number 2 Heisman hopeful this week is Dwayne Haskins, quarterback, Ohio State, and he's moved up to number 2 after a very solid personal performance. 455 yards passing and 6 touchdowns against the Indiana Hoosiers brings his total to 19 yards passing and 25 touchdowns on the year. Ohio State also remains undefeated. Coming in at number 3, a quarterback that we just got done talking about, Kyler Murray from Oklahoma, moved down this week after a team loss to Texas. Murray had a good game, 304 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, bringing his 2018 total to 1,764 yards passing, 21 touchdowns. Oklahoma is 5-1 in 2018. And our 4th Heisman hopeful is another quarterback, Will Grier from West Virginia University. Everybody has a bad day, including athletes. Fortunately for Grier and the Mountaineers, their bad day didn't last. He personally threw for 332 yards, but had 4 interceptions on the day. 4 touchdowns helped compensate and keep his Heisman hopes alive, and the Mountaineers held on to win. Well, our primetime games of the week matchups are now about to be displayed, and these are 3 great primetime matchups to keep an eye for this next Saturday. And here we have them exclusively on American Football Newz. Our first game of the week will feature number 7 Washington taking on number 17 Oregon in a good matchup of Pac-12 teams. This will happen on October 13th and will be broadcast on ABC and ESPN2. This game comes at 3:30 p.m. It is our belief that the Washington Huskies will walk away with a win. Our second game of the week features number 2 Georgia taking on number 13 LSU. This also will happen October 13th, this next Saturday at 3:30 p.m., and will be broadcast on CBS. It is our belief that the Georgia Bulldogs will walk away victorious. And our third game of the week, a Big Ten matchup, will feature number 15 Wisconsin traveling to Ann Arbor and taking on the Wolverines in the Big House. This also happens Saturday, October 13th at 7:30 p.m. Catch that on ABC. It is our belief that the Wisconsin Badgers will stop Michigan rolling and will humble the Wolverines in Ann Arbor. And that concludes our NCAA portion of the broadcast. We now move on to NFL news, and we have a lot to talk about. Another week is in the books as the 2018 NFL season moves forward. Plenty of good games this past week, a few close matchups, and a few surprises too. Here are a few highlights, plus a look ahead to the next week's games. The Buffalo Bills and Tennessee Titans played a close game Sunday. However, this was opposite of the actual gameplay. A low-scoring, low-stat game. This was a snoozer that saw both quarterbacks combine for a total of 211 passing yards for the game. Both quarterbacks. Just amazing to me. The Bills win 13-12. The Cleveland Browns still in the conversation and still keeping people interested. Cleveland took on Baltimore Sunday, and that tough Browns D kept things close and low scoring. Browns rookie quarterback Baker Mayfield having a great day against Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco, throwing for 342 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. The Browns kicker finally comes through in the clutch, and Cleveland holds on to win 12-9. All is not well for Big Blue. If you are a Giants fan, this year so far has been a tough one. Up and down results, and Eli isn't playing very well either. However, rookie running back Saquon Barkley having a good year so far, as is All-Pro wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., the latter making some public statements about his disdain for New York right now. The Giants played the Carolina Panthers this past weekend in a shootout offensively. This game also being decided on a last-second field goal, which was kicked by Graham Gano of the Panthers, blasting a record-tying 63-yard field goal as time expired to seal the win for the Panthers 33-31. The Philadelphia Eagles not looking like Super Bowl champions at all right now, taking another L this Sunday, this time at the hands of Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. A furious fourth quarter comeback by the Eagles fell just short as Minnesota held on to win a close one, 23-21. The opposite, the LA Rams remained perfect as they continued their quest for a second straight postseason run. However, Seattle kept it close and really made Todd Gurley and company earn this particular win. The Rams survive a scare from Russell Wilson and the Seahawks and hold on to win 33-31. For those of you who were able to watch Sunday Night Football, you saw a great game. Sunday Night Football saw a civil war take place this weekend, this time in the Lone Star State. Houston took on Dallas in Houston. Both teams came to play, and the Texans kept the pressure on Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. A mesmerizing, twisting sort of miracle catch by Houston wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins late in the fourth quarter set up a game-winning field goal attempt for Texas kicker Kayami Fairbairn, and he delivered. Houston wins in a wild one, 19-16. And a couple nights ago, Monday Night Football took place, and Monday night was special this week as NFL favorite Drew Brees added another accolade to his Hall of Fame-worthy career. The Saints took on the Washington Redskins at the Superdome in Louisiana. The Saints got to work early and kept Washington out of the end zone for the entire first quarter. Late in the second quarter, Drew Brees hit wide receiver Traquan Smith for a 62-yard touchdown that put Brees at number one for most passing yards in the NFL, passing both Brett Favre and Peyton Manning Monday night. New Orleans won in a rout of a game, 43-19. And we look ahead to the upcoming week. Tomorrow kicks off the next week of NFL football with Thursday Night Football. The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will take on Eli Manning and the New York Jets. That will happen October 11th and will be seen on Fox as well as the NFL Network. Kickoff is set for 8:20 p.m. It is our belief that the Philadelphia Eagles should be able to handle Eli and company and pick up the win. Sunday Night Football is an interesting one as undefeated Kansas City will take on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. This will be October 14th, and you can see it on NBC. Kickoff is scheduled for 8:20 p.m. It is our belief that the Kansas City Chiefs will remain undefeated and will able to defeat New England and Tom Brady. And our NFL week will end Monday night with a Monday Night Football game that will feature a matchup that if you watched it in the 90s, you were very, very interested in. These two teams met a lot in the postseason, usually to determine who was going to go to the Super Bowl or at least play to get in the Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers take on the Green Bay Packers, and that will happen October 15th and can be seen on ESPN. This game will kick off at 8:15 p.m., and it is our belief that despite the fact that Green Bay is struggling right now, they should have no problem with the San Francisco 49ers. Well, once again, we thank you for taking the time to listen to our broadcast here at American Football Newz and look forward to this next week's plight of games. Whether you're a fan of high school football, pro football, or college football, just remember, keep watching football and keep tuning back for updates, information, and news about your favorite teams, leagues, and sports. Thank you, and God bless.